All right, so this is kind of a follow-up to my previous video on the Rolling Stones and their promotional campaign to launch their new album called Foreign Tongues. And we know that the tongue logo comes from the Hindu goddess Kali, but there's also another symbol that I learned about that I didn't know about before, which is the arm symbol. So this is actually from a skit that Mick Jagger did on The Tonight Show. And it was a really stupid skit, not even funny at all, almost kind of embarrassing. Mick Jagger played kind of a effeminate jeweler using mannequin arms. And what do these mannequin arms represent? Well, it represents Kali. Once again, notice on the bottom of your screen, you'll see some mannequin arms used in this statue of Kali. And these are basically associated with all the severed heads and all this kind of stuff. See that? That's what it represents. These are actual mannequin arms on an actual statue of the goddess Kali. And I took this footage myself. And so what are the odds that the Rolling Stones use the tongue for their logo, and now they show a bunch of mannequin arms that just happen to be part of a Kali statue. So I think that's what's going on. We have the arm symbolism. The day before, Mick was on the show. Look at this, and this is their thumbnail with all the arms, right? That's deliberate representation of the goddess Kali with the sweet transvestite. So we're going to see more connection with ritual androgyny as well. And so these androgynes are channeling the demon. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Well, your name is Kali. And we can confirm this symbolism with Beyonce and notice the t-shirt. Now, somebody sent me this video, actually, and they pointed out that the t-shirt says Kali. It's Call-E, right? The letter E. And this is a dance routine on a balcony. And the lyrics to the song are put your hands up. So throughout the song, this person is moving the hands around quite a bit in somewhat unusual ways while wearing a sweater with the word Kali. So it's kind of hidden in plain sight, slightly disguised. They like to disguise their symbols so it's not so obvious, but they know it's like an inside joke. And I suspect it also relates to this octopus symbolism you see all the time. For example, the Kraken of Norse mythology, mythical creatures from the abyss. You could even tie that in with the Leviathan in the Bible, these kind of sea monsters, evil spiritual and demonic powers from the abyss who control the tyrannical governments on the earth. You see that in Revelation, right? A beast coming out of the sea representing the Roman Empire. You see this in this show called the OA, the original androgyne, basically an alien, octopus slash demon, which represents Kali. Right, so the original androgyne is channeling Kali and speaking the words of Kali. There's a show called The Resident Alien, and the octopi are also aliens in this show. So they're related. The octopi are aliens, which means they're demons, which means they are Hindu goddesses. Aquaman, the deep, working for the Pharmacia industrial complex, who also controls the media and the government, talking to an octopus and actually even having an affair, a relationship with this demon. And I even came across this one, some movie and book or something about an octopus or something. I don't know. I haven't seen it. There's Sally Field with the hand on the firmament, making a connection with the supernatural entity. Same exact thing here, arrival, talking to the aliens, the hand on the glass, the other realm. And notice this alien also looks like an octopus, right? And even the human hand is kind of like an octopus, has the 5 arms, Fantastic Four, the 4 elements. They are wearing blue. James Cameron said blue is the color of aliens. Maybe he meant blue is the color of the goddess Kali. The Beatles, 8 arms to hold you, moving their hands around like Kali, wearing the blue. And Veruca Salt, 8 arms to hold you, same title, with the octopus. Gee, what are you talking about there? The octopus has a crown. Spectre. And basically, Kali was destroying the world, and then Shiva came along to try to put a stop to it, and that's when she stuck her tongue out. And so what you see here really is the divine feminine crushing the masculine. Highlights the dynamic interplay between male and female principles in the universe, underscoring equilibrium. So balancing the polar opposites is basically the same type of language you would find in Masonic literature or in Blavatsky, Crowley, etc. Unity within duality. Androgyny and transformation following chaos. And that's when Kali's tongue was outstretched. So the Rolling Stones logo with the tongue is directly related to unity within duality and transformation. There's a random tongue logo I just saw on a news site for no reason. You see this a lot, actually, just kind of these random people sticking out their tongue, which is not something normal people do, Their union emphasizes harmony between dynamic forces. Creation by God Shiva is incomplete without destruction by Kali. The dual nature of existence, where divine feminine power complements divine masculine presence for cosmic equilibrium. All right, so Kali is a type of Shakti. What's a Shakti? In Hinduism, Shakti is the universal power that underlies and sustains all existence, kind of like the Force in Star Wars. In Puranic Hinduism, Shiva and Shakti are the masculine and feminine principles that are complementary to each other. The interaction of both principles is what creates the universe. That sounds exactly like Freemasonry. The more aggressive personifications of Shakti are represented by the essentially fierce goddesses such as Kali. There's good old Kali again. Look at this. I've actually taken a photo of this very statue. Shakti is the creative female pole of the inseparable bipolar pair, Shiva Shakti. Shiva, the male form, half male, half female. There it is right there, which ultimately forms the indivisible self, Brahman. Yeah, pretty much backs up my original thesis, which was that the androgynes are demonically possessed because they're androgynes. It's kind of the ritual. So the divine feminine is actually androgynous because the divine feminine is the unity of male and female, right? That's what it says right here. The male and female principles combined together become the divine feminine. So the goddess is an androgyne. Now this is a little bit creepy here. Shakti in cinema. So there's a lot of these movies in India about the gods and goddesses and stuff. But one of the reasons they have so many of these goddess movies is they believe it invokes the goddess. For many Hindus, the goddess genre films offer the experience of watching the goddess on screen to see or be seen by the deity. In classical Hindu thought, the nature of the self was assessed as being androgyne. I know it's only rock and roll. Well, is it really only rock and roll? If it's only rock and roll, then why are you putting out all this demonic imagery if it's only rock and roll? Is it only rock and roll? Pleased to meet you. Won't you kiss my